increase everywhere. Every basic ability, skill, and talent can be developed through hard work, good strategies, persistence, dedication, and input from others. Where focus goes, energy flows. So focus your energy on continuous learning and stop wasting time thinking about looking smart. Build resistance, build vulnerability, build courageousness, and face adversity with a smile. Become comfortable with uncomfortable. You know, the only person that you need to prove anything to is you. Imperfect action trumps perfect inaction. Stop wasting time and get on with it. Failure is part of learning, so start learning by taking action. Well, hello.
Hi, Kristian Livolsi. It's Wednesday. We're here for the hot seat. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you, Simone.
It is freezing here. I'm so cold today.
It is actually really cold, even in Adelaide. So, and me in my trusted t-shirt, as always. I've even got the little heater on inside our offices, which today we walked in here and the air conditioning was just freezing. So, yeah.
I am feeling a little bit nervous. We have our Evolve retreat this weekend, so I'm coming over to Adelaide, and I've been told that it's very cold. So pack some warm gear, but I'm not sure how many of my puffer jackets I can fit in a suitcase. So it will be interesting when I pack tonight.
Yeah, and you are away for 5 days, so it's going to be full on. And we're in the Adelaide Hills, so it is colder in the Adelaide Hills.
Okay, that is noted. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're actually going to talk all about leadership today. And I think this is a really important topic because we hear so much about being a good leader, doing leadership courses and how we promote that either as ourselves or how do we promote our teams to be better leaders. There's a whole heap of books on leadership. So I thought, let's just break it down and have a conversation about that. So we're going to get straight into it today. My first question for you, Kristian, is what makes successful leadership in your opinion?
Wow. It's a big question. Look, a leader that has purpose-driven and has a very clear direction that they can sell to others. That's, in my opinion, what makes a successful leader. Now, many leaders don't have a purpose. In fact, Harvard did a study and they found that only 22% of leaders from Fortune 500 companies had a defined purpose. And if you have no purpose, subsequently, you actually lack clarity and vision. So how do you lead, let alone have anyone follow you voluntarily? And that is leadership. But leadership, Simone, is also fluid. And there's a very clear distinction between management and leadership. And understanding that is critical. Now, Jim Collins in Good to Great refers to level 5 leaders. And these are the ones that, I guess, exhibit a combination of strong personal humility as well as professional will. Now, this top level leader, the executive leader, as he calls it, is incredibly driven and ambitious and maintains what we call a healthy sense of self-awareness, but is also able to put the needs of others above their own. And a great leader has to align their values to the company and therefore recruit on a first who, then what basis. So there's my educated opinion.
Amazing. You still had 33 seconds on the clock. But I really like that. And I just want to touch back on what you said about the management mindset versus the leadership mindset. And this is something when I first met you, when I listened to your podcast, that was like a mic drop moment for me to understand that I was really sitting in management mindset now that I'd moved into being a business owner. And that was really profound to actually understand the difference because I'd always associated myself with being a leader, but it's different ball game being a leader in middle management as it is to being a business owner. So yeah, there's a great difference there.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, it's funny. I forget that I used to have a top-rated podcast, and a lot of people come through us from our podcast, and I know we're about to evolve and develop that whole series to 5 days a week, which is going to be epic. And that was because people have demanded more content. And so we're going to deliver that, I think, starting sometime in July. So that's going to be great. And anyone who doesn't know it, it's the Business Growth Mindset podcast, available on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, as well as YouTube.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm not a massive podcast listener, but when I find something I like, I just binged it. And I literally binged that whole first series because there was just so many things that just to learn, which was amazing. All right, let's move into our second question. So my second question today is, how do you best develop your leadership skills personally and professionally? Because they're different, right? How you lead at home, is that different to how you are as a business owner? Or do you see it as one and the same?
Oh, I think it's one and the same. But I remember a quote by John C. Maxwell. Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. Okay, if I remember correctly, it's something on those lines, and really, regardless of whether your leadership skills are personally or professionally, you got to go out and learn about leadership traits and styles, and then you got to find the one that suits you. And I guess because we're on the theme of level 5 leadership, if you want to become a level 5 leader, then you really need to focus on 3 leadership styles, and that is authentic, transformational, and servant leadership. Now, how about if I just break that down a little bit and give people a bit of a masterclass on those? Because I do teach leadership. I have give a lot of guest lectures at universities on this. And it's only because I truly understand this area, because I have worked so hard to become a transformational leader for our organizations, but also for our clients. So I'll start with servants. Servant leaders put their people first and are a person of character, right? So in practice, this is demonstrated by collaboration, listening, self-awareness, empathy, humility, healing, awareness, persuasion, foresight, and stewardship. Okay, so many servant leaders invest in their people and they focus on teaching and learning, right? They inspire growth and innovation and are for-purpose leaders, okay? So then you've got the authentic leaders. And authentic leadership is a bit different. It's about building legitimacy through honest relationships. So again, there's that take on that servantship. But you do this by valuing input and building strong foundations around values and ethics, okay? And to achieve this, you need to be aware of your strengths, your limitations, and your emotions, right? So being authentic is what we define a subset of transformational leadership and a very important factor in attaining that level 5 leadership. So this is all about self-awareness. It's about transparency. It's about balanced processing, but also your own moral perspective, Simone. So with the populist movement and cancel culture, this is really a big challenge for today's leaders. Transformational leadership then brings that all together, because that's all about leading by example. And this is about rapport building, inspiration and empathy to engage your whole tribe. And it gets quick results. And it's a great place to start with so many people. Now, you need to start by teaching people about encouragement, empowerment, motivation. And, look, transformational leadership, again, is about people. And by people, I mean all your stakeholders. And so many people forget that, right? Now, I have a fully inclusive approach. And by that, I mean that, we bring all of our stakeholders together, our team, our shareholders, our suppliers, and our customers. And we do this through our values and our vision, okay? And they're, pretty much everywhere. They're enshrined in practice. And we use this to create transformation or change that will help grow and share the future of our company. But if you're going to go down this path, there are 4 critical areas that you have to look at, and that is influence, inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, and also you need to consider individual needs and wants. So I guess when we talk about what are the things you need to do, you see that just trying to develop 3 traits takes a lot of practice, a lot of development, a lot of knowledge. But what it is that it's all about building courage, confidence, and establishing a willing to make sacrifices. And if you can do that as a leader, if you can learn all that, you will be so much happier. And so will your people.
Yeah. That's awesome. We went well over the 2 minutes, but that was
Yeah,
absolutely well.
sorry.
We did break the rules.
Not
We
sorry.
did break the rules a little bit. All right, so I'm going to take this one little step further for my third question today, and I want to ask if do you believe in born leaders? Is this something, a trait, or these personality types that you're born with, or can anyone learn to be a good leader?
That's a trick question. I've got a growth mindset, so I truly believe that you can be and have and do whatever it is that you set yourself up for. But look, leaders are both born and made, but for the most part, they are made. Okay,
Mm.
like most talents, many people are born with them, but many leaders are made. You see, all the talents and skills can be taught and learnt. Your abilities are not set in stone, and you can develop your skills with persistence and practice. Right, like how did I get to where I am? How is it that I've been able to, be involved in 80 of my own ventures, consult with, well, I don't even know, but it's now thousands of people, just over thousands of people all around the world. It's because I am always committed and dedicated, me personally, I can only talk about me, to learning and thriving. But, your purpose and values drive your behavior. And this determines whether you're a good or bad leader. So good leaders educate themselves relentlessly. They surround themselves with quality advisors, coaches, and other leaders. Even I have, people around me, and and I'm one of the top advisors at the moment going around. They have a growth mindset, okay, and they have servant qualities. I mean, that's the true leader, right? And above all, the made leaders. They know what they want, and they know that with the help of others, they can achieve it faster, smarter, and with way more fulfillment. And so I think that's in essence the answer to that question. I think sure there are naturally born leaders. I mean, you see it at schools, but those people that are generally chosen as leaders at school very rarely go on to be leaders in life, because those people had the natural talent or the natural ability, but didn't exploit it as they got older. They didn't grow into it. They just assumed it. That's the fixed mindset philosophy that, you are born with those. I just got a message from my wife asking me if I could bring mushrooms home. Like I'm going to be home for dinner. I just love that, right?
Well, perfect timing, Lucy. Thank you for wrapping up that question on born leaders. I think that's a really interesting topic. And like you said, yeah, there are traits that you obviously display as you're young, but if you don't utilize them, then you won't grow into them for that potential. And it's really great for you to hear you say and to demonstrate as well that you always continue on this journey of leadership, right? You're never kind of done. Even if you consider yourself a level 5 leader, you're still evolving your journey, who you are as a leader all the time.
Absolutely, Simone. I mean, to me, that's, you never stop learning. And I think people need to understand that. And I think that's why we've had so much success in our mastermind, the Evolve one, and even the COD, the Customer on Demand one that we have. Because people are staying because they're constantly learning by being around us. And I am constantly learning by being around them. So, whether you're learning about leadership, whether you're learning about running your business, whether you're learning about anything, right? Learning about life. If you want to learn about life, what do you got to do? Experience it. If you lock yourself away in a room, you're not going to learn shit, right? I mean, unless you got a whole bunch of books and you're learning to navigate Google Scholar. But I'm talking about if you lock yourself away and you're a recluse and you don't speak to anyone and you don't access anything, you're not feeding your mind. And the easiest way to feed your mind is surround yourself with the 5 people that you want to become, right?
Yeah.
And if people say, well, how am I meant to, hang out with Steve Jobs? He's dead. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. What you got to do is surround yourself with all that Steve Jobs was, right? Read the same stuff he used to read. Now that's obviously harder, but if you look more at, let's say I've got certain friends that I really value because they have great values. They have great ethics and morals, and that's who I want to hang out with because they make me a better person.
Yeah.
And that's what learning is all about. And I say to people, learn how to learn, okay,
Yeah.
and have a heart and a passion and a purpose for learning. I'm always, I am so ashamed that it took me so long to learn to read. To have the desire to read. And now I listen to one audiobook a week and I read a book a week. And I'm on a mission to, at the beginning of the year, my mission was to read 52 books. Well, now that I'm listening to one a week and I'm reading one a week, I'm going to hit 104. And I'm on target to do that. And I owe that to Toby Pierce, the founder of Sweat. He's much younger than me, much better looking than me. I just saw him this morning going to Whistle and Flute. Because when we caught up, he made me realize that if you genuinely want to learn, there is so much out there. And and I thought to myself, this guy is so young and he's so freaking smart. Forget that they sold the company and whatnot. Just if you have the opportunity to just listen to him speak, you will just see that isn't bullshit. It's learned. He has invested so much time in learning. And that inspired me. And I thought, mate, if he can do it, I can do this. And, no matter that I had dyslexia and I struggle to concentrate for periods of time due to my ADHD, I just knuckled down. And, last year I read, and this was last year, and I read 16 books. And that's when I thought, no, I'm going to set myself a really big, ambitious goal. And I thought, I'm dreaming when I set it up. And now I'm killing it because the more I learn, the more I can empower those around me with the learnings that I'm getting. And sometimes we read stuff that's complete shit, right? It's garbage. And you're like, I started reading one book that was recommended to me and I stopped at, the first chapter. I was like, this is crap. So I went and flicked through to, in between chapters and I went, none of this is relevant to me. And so I just go, not going to read it. It's not relevant to you. Don't do it. Find what you're interested in.
Yeah.
Sorry, I digressed.
Yeah, we did. But I just wanted to share a quick story from speaking to one of our clients today before the Evolve Mastermind. And we were talking about imposter syndrome and how she felt a little bit overwhelmed when she was in a room full of leaders to think that she didn't deserve to be there or she didn't see herself as the same caliber of leader to be in that position. And I shared with her how I've really pushed myself. And this is what someone told me very early on in my business journey was that if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And if you're constantly, or I don't know if that's a famous quote by someone, I'm not sure, but this is what I was told by a peer once. And it's always stuck to me. And I've never felt imposter syndrome since then because I always want to surround myself with people I can learn from. And you just take that fear out of it.
Imposter syndrome is really hard. A lot of our clients go through it, and I went through it when I got appointed, adjunct professor at university and the entrepreneur in resident. I had huge doubts about my own ability, and $189 million later of capital raised for 66 startups. Even that didn't appease the imposter syndrome. And I think that when you strive for so much, it can be very hard. What it was for me was just becoming aware of it. Becoming aware that, it is what it is. And, you have to back yourself. And so I'm constantly looking for fulfillment and I'm constantly looking for achievement to be able to do that. And I get that privilege because our clients give me that. Not only our own businesses, but our clients, when they remind us that, hello, Ethan, when they remind us that, when they remind us that, that what we're doing is good, and even better when they tell us how great it is, because that's one of our values, to get people from good to great.
It is. I think that's a perfect way to wrap up this week's hot seat. We are Looking forward to a massive weekend with our Evolve clients and some of our other clients that will be joining us over the weekend. A little bit of business, or a fair bit of business, and a little bit of play when you're hosting us and taking us around, showing us a bit of Adelaide, which is really nice because I actually don't think I've seen much other than our office in Adelaide. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. Now you need to go and buy mushrooms so Lucy can make dinner. And I've got some hangry kids that are waiting for food.
Yeah, I think I might have to get Uber to deliver the mushrooms because I'm not sure my wife realized that I have calls until well beyond 7 p.m. So obviously trying to make up for the craziness of all the time that's going into the 60-hour weekend of torture that I'm going to put people through, and I'm excited by that. So anyway,
they're slightly freaking out. They are freaking out.
They are freaking out, and I absolutely, in your words, love that. So we'll leave you with a message from our dear friend Adrian Lee, who is one of those people that is completely and utterly petrified. Until next time, live with purpose.
See you next week.
Working with Kristian is a game changer. Hi, I'm Adrian Lee from GrowthLink Coaching and Consulting. I started working with Kristian in August 2020 as his LinkedIn growth consultant. We worked together on his LinkedIn brand for about 12 months before becoming business partners in Growth Outsourced late 2021. Kristian is a hidden genius. He helped me break through a significant financial target by restructuring my growth consulting online business offer. I don't know of any one person who can give you so much focus, clarity, and structure to live your purpose and get shit done. He holds you accountable to your words and gives you the tough love when you need it. I love his no BS approach to business and life. Everyone needs a Kristian Livolsi in their life. Do whatever you have to work with Kristian. This is just the beginning for us, and I am super pumped to continue growing together. Thanks again, Kristian.